The Eagles began their prep for the Broncos. They're ready to put the drama behind them, and so are we. So we're going to talk good Eagles things, not the negativity of the situation that wasn't a situation, right? Phillies know their opponent. It's as we expected, the LA Dodgers. Who do we got? Who's advancing to the NLCS? Trending in the AM, talking Phillies, talking Eagles, whatever else comes up, taking your thoughts and opinions live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live. YouTube and Twitter, you know the drill. Wherever you're watching, hit that like button. Wherever you're watching, subscribe. Wherever you're watching, share this out as we continue the march to 1,000 subscribers, starting the day at 722. Guys, watching on YouTube, watching on Twitter, whatever. But if you go over to the YouTube page, it's the only place you could vote on our poll. Question of the day, which is Phillies versus Dodgers. NLDS, who wins? Phillies in 3 or 4, Dodgers in 3 or 4, Phillies in 5, Dodgers in 5. They are your options today because, yes, we do know the Philadelphia Phillies will be facing the LA Dodgers in the NLDS starting Saturday late afternoon down in South Philly. As they like to say, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. So for the Phillies to be the man, they've got to beat the defending undisputed World Series champion LA Dodgers to start their run. We wouldn't have it any other way. Quite frankly, whoever wins this 5-game series probably goes on to win the World Series. So we're going to talk Phillies today, our expectations of the Phillies in the playoffs, our fears, our concerns, all of the above. We're also going to talk about how great Philly fans are in general. 31,000 fans to watch a 7-inning scrimmage yesterday, which we shouldn't be shocked by with the amount of people we put to the practice for the Eagles every single year. Eagles got started for their week prep for the Broncos yesterday. We're going to talk injuries. We're going to talk Nakobe Dean, who is now activated. Well, his practice window is activated. So we might see Nakobe Dean. How do we get Nakobe Dean back? And while I think that Nakobe Dean returning is actually a bigger addition than people realize, A.J. Brown put his drama to bed and manned up and took responsibility yesterday because that's what good leaders do. They take responsibilities for their mistakes. So that's what we got on the docket today, plus whatever else comes up, because as you know, at Trending in the AM, who knows what kind of Ridley Scott comment will change the course of an entire show. So, guys, let's get right to the comments here. We really think we are hitting Yamamoto and Ohtani, and I think we'll be facing Blake Snell as well in the first 3 games. Shohei Ohtani is starting game 1 against Christopher Sanchez. Bring it on. To beat the man, to be the man, you got to beat the man, Nooms. Good morning, Duck. I find it weird that I'm the only one that's commented. Well, you weren't the only one that commented. Nooms was, too. Sometimes you comment too early, they disappear. Big bucks, no whammies, and stop. We're stopping right on the LA Dodgers to start this out. Free money, LA. Free money that we're going to beat LA, Philly, MM. Good morning, Adam. Phillies in 5 is his vote towards the poll question. Make sure you guys are voting, along with hitting those like and share and subscribe buttons. I hope it doesn't go 5. I'd be very nervous on a game 5. I think the Phillies can win this in 4, maybe even 3. We'll find out. But I think they take game 1. I'm very confident the Phillies taking game 1 on Saturday. The team is a fraud, just like every other year, going to get like 2 runs a game. You know, that would have been my regular season opinion, MM. But now that Red October's here, I've got red glasses on, and I cannot take them off. You know, honestly, I forgot to do this. There we go. We are going, that's orange, not red. Where's my red screen? There's my red overlay. We got to go red overlay for Red October. We got to change the comments to red. We got to go full red for the next couple of weeks here on this show. Going to forget how to hit the ball in the playoffs. It could be it's possible. It's absolutely possible. We've seen it before, but maybe this year is just different. Last day of the wild card, it is Mad Chatter. Phillies first game Saturday, 6 o'clock or 6:30. They haven't announced the time yet. Phillies win the series in 4. I think 4 is a fair way to look at it. I really do. A.J. Brown is here to stay. Adam, is there any doubt that A.J. Brown is here to stay? Look, if you haven't, go listen to the A.J. Brown drama or interview from after practice yesterday. That is what a leader does. The way he handled the situation that, yes, he created, but the way he handled that situation, mad props to A.J. Brown for the way he handled that. Ohtani ain't getting lifted after 5 this time. He ain't getting lifted after 5 because of it. He's going to get lifted after 5 because we put up 6 runs against him, Nooms. I got my biased Homer glasses on this morning. Your trolling window has been activated. Great. Thanks for that. Boy, am I looking forward to that. Your trolling window is always open. Sometimes it's a whole garage door. Yeah, exactly. It's more of an Overton window. An Overton window. Gotcha. Dodgers bullpen is shaking. The Phillies team smashes shaky bullpens. Absolutely, it's why they're here. It's absolutely why they've gotten this far. 100% elephant in the room. Watching Landon Dickerson this year, like, thank you for last year, but bro, it's time to take a seat for a few games. Vita Vea pushed him laterally 1-on-1 into the next gap on 3 plays. I can't. Look, I've been saying it all week that it's time for Landon Dickerson to be set. I may be the first person to have actually said that, and now everybody's talking about it. But I'm the one that said that, okay? First. He's not good. He's not right. Yet he's a full participant in practice yesterday. What's up, little G? Good morning. QG rep in the building. What's up, mister? How you doing today? A.J. Brown had to cover his ass and lie and say it, nothing wrong with the dog shit coaching. Come on now. Are we going to be negative all day long? A.J. Brown did what he had to do because he's a leader of this team. He's a captain on this team. He's somebody that everybody else looks up to. All right? You don't believe him? That's cool. But let me tell you something. I do believe him. Okay? I do believe what A.J. Brown had to say. Because I've been saying it since day one. It was just a frustration. It was a nothing story to begin with. All right? A.J. Brown and a lot of athletes turn to social media for gifs and memes to express their feelings. That is just how the youth of today handle their emotions. Red October table is set. Time for the Dodgers appetizer. As I said, Big Al, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. The only way the Phillies can be World Series champs is to first win the NLDS against the defending champs. So that starts Saturday afternoon. When normal football fan can see what the team is about, run, you better believe NFL team going to be able to know what the Eagles are about to run. Look, I've said that. I'm not saying that the offense isn't bad. The offense has been atrocious. I would be shocked if Landon was 70%, if Juergens was 80%. I surely hope they can they can't aggravate their injuries. Yeah. They really need to get healthy, not get any worse. But what they also have to do is find ways, Nooms, to help them out. The play calling, the blocking schemes, having extra people out there. They've got to find ways to give these guys a little help. And I'm not sure what that answer is, whether it's more fullback plays, whether it's more 12 personnel, not that we really got an extra guy to block tight end wise, but something's got to give to help them out. 50% Landon is better than his backup. And that may be the case. You know, his backup is Brett Toth most likely. So, you know, do we want 50% Landon or do we want 100% Brett Toth out there? I mean, that's a conversation to be had right there, obviously. I'm sick of the Eagles' defense and special teams carrying the team, the offense doing the minimum. Look, all that matters is winning, right? And A.J. Brown said, I listened to the entire thing twice yesterday. He said, low key, I got frustrated that the defense and special teams is carrying us. Just honest feelings. Phil puts up red overlay. We talk Eagles anyway. We've actually talked a lot more Phillies than Eagles in the first 10 minutes, just so you know. We didn't talk that much Flyers, and I had an orange overlay last week. Typo, if offense been doing even the minimum, Eagles would be winning easily. Doesn't matter if we win by 20 or we win by 5. Does it? Because in my opinion, 5 and 20 still are the same thing. A check mark in the win column. Okay? I'm guessing Drew Kendall hasn't even been active yet this year, has he? I think he's been a healthy scratch each game. Quinion Grimes' nickname. Oh, yay! Quinion Grimes is finally signed. The Sixers season, mister, is saved. Quinion Grimes overhypes himself just as much as Ben Simmons. The dude is not that good, all right? There's way too much Quinion Grimes hype from Quinion Grimes, from fans, from everybody. Quinion Grimes is just an average player on a bad team. Wouldn't see the court on a championship caliber team. So wearing my homer glasses with all these offensive issues and the Eagles are still beating good teams, what does this mean about how good this team will be? Absolutely. If they play at 100%, Big Al, we'll be smoking everybody. Smoking everybody, if that's the case. So you know what? I'm not worried. We hated how the Philadelphia Eagles looked the last year through 4 games. And they were 2-2. This team is 4-0. So let's accept the fact that they found a way to win every one of these games despite not playing their best football. Red October is here, Adam. And it was a Red October night down at the bank. My man Jim sent me videos from the stadium last night. 31,000 fans cheering on a 7-inning scrimmage. You can't make the shit up. You can't make up how passionate Philadelphia sports fans are for their teams. Who cares? Yeah, Grimes, I don't care about Quinion Grimes. It's Quinion Grimes. It's overrated Grimes. $8.7 million is a bargain for Grimes. He does a lot of things very well. He does a lot of things okay. All right? I'll say Phil's in 5 because I'm a homer, but the bullpen worries me, and the tendency of this lineup to go cold at the same time worries me. Jason Lee going very, very politically correct and down the line. Look, the offense worries me a little bit more than the bullpen, honestly, because all they got to do is go cold for 2 or 3 days, and it's over. The bullpen, I'm a little less concerned than others about. Quite frankly, I'm still slightly concerned. I'd say I'm more concerned about the starting rotation than the bullpen. It's a big moment for Christopher Sanchez, a moment he might not have really had before, anchoring a rotation in a playoff series. You know, Ranger Suarez, been great this year, but, you know, has worn out before. And Jesus Luzardo has had a great year, but he's your third guy. Do you go Aaron Nola in game 4 if it comes to that? I don't know. Yeah, I'm confident in the bullpen otherwise, though. Grimes is a role player. He's barely a role player. A superstar that going to average like 12 points, yeah, we should get so. Dude, there's a lot of Sixers fans that got their blue, red, and white glasses on thinking that this is another contending team. They got a reality check coming to them soon. If I see that stupid celebration of Nick and Kevin with arm lock celebrating after we barely win, I'm going to flip shit out was corny. I mean, what, do you not want them to be excited that they win? Look, it's not like we barely beat the Tennessee Titans or the Cleveland Browns. We beat the Buccaneers, who are going to win their division. We beat the Rams, who we're going to face again in the playoffs. Maybe maybe they'll play the Super Bowl if we don't. We beat the Chiefs, dynasty, and we beat the Cowboys, who on opening night's a tough match. So I think people are forgetting about how good the teams are that we played. Grimes has the talent to be 6. No, he does not. Why is he 25 and played on 75 different basketball teams? Sixers suck. They should have been trade Joel like 2.5 years ago. Well, that was the time. Now is not the time. Now you can't at this point. Broncos have the best defense in the NFL right now. Absolutely. And I've been over it. They lead the league in sacks, lead the league in quarterback hits, lead the league in pressure rate. This Broncos game is no joke. Nick Bonita, 4.5 sacks, almost has as many sacks as our entire defense. Zack Allen, Patrick Surtain, the reigning defensive player of the year. It's a legit test this week. Is Taiwan Walker in bullpen? They have not released the playoff roster for the NLDS yet. They'll probably do that today. Sixers are average. You forgot 2 words. At best, when you can't score more than 34 points, up 24. Maybe that Buccaneers defense is better than we realized. Phillies in 4 from the man Brian O'Rourke. Grimes is a nice piece that will help us get buckets. So we're going up 1 point every day. So today's minus 12. Tomorrow will be minus 13, 14, 15. So you'll be at minus 16 your projection by Monday morning. I'm ready. Let's bring it on, Brian. 23. We was winning. Come on. We're winning through how it lasted. 23, totally different team than 24 or 25. All right. Totally different quality of team. All right. We had a shit defense that year. We've got a great defense this year. Okay. We had Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham as linebackers, James Bradbury as a cornerback. Just saying. Broncos not about to win anything. Teams with no quarterback don't win unless you have an all-time great defense. Well, they do have a great defense, and Bo Nix is a much better quarterback than people realize. He's a young quarterback coming off his best game of the year so far, throwing for over 320 yards. So there's that. True B-ball fans know players like Obi Toppin and Quentin Grimes are needed to make a team competitive. I'm just not a true basketball fan then, I guess. Sorry. And I would take Obi Toppin over Quentin Grimes. There was good baseball games last night. I'm trying to finish up Better Call Saul. We've got 1 episode left to finish Better Call Saul up. And then I'll get back to watching sports at night. If Ohtani shuts us down the first game, we're in trouble in the series. Oh, you've got to take game 1, mister. Got to take game 1. It is critical in any playoff series, in any sport. I'm assuming, and I don't know if anybody wants to Google search this, I'm assuming the percentage of teams that win a series win game 1 more often than not. It's great how all 4 series are tied, not rigged like the NFL. Definitely worse ways to spend a couple hours like watching. Yeah, exactly. How is this team different? I just said it. A much better defense, a more experienced offense. You had Brian Johnson and Sean Desai. We've got Vic Fangio. Major difference between 23 and 25. Rams couldn't score more than 34, went up 19 points either. Exactly, Rick. Okay, we'll see. People would take like 16 quarterbacks over Bo Nix. I don't know about 16, but again, he's in his second year. Is he supposed to be Joe Montana at this point? Phillies go 11-4 in the playoffs this year, 11-4. So what's your vote on the poll? 3. I'm guessing you're saying 3 or 4. I'm assuming you're saying Phillies in 4 this round. I'd rather it be in 3, obviously. Is the cold front series this Sunday? What? I don't even know what that means. Who would you rather have, Simmons or Grimes? I would rather have Quentin Grimes and Ben Simmons, yes. Ben Simmons ain't going to be on a roster, though. Phillies beat Dodgers in 4. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, again, obviously, for this to work out, I really want to see them take game 1, obviously. It'd be ideal if they could take game 1 and 2, give them the gentleman's sweep by losing game 3 and then winning game 4. That would be the ideal way. I don't know, though, if you're up 2-1, who you throw in game 4. Do you go back to Sanchez or do you go Aaron Nola in that situation? It's something I'm very curious. When they announce the roster officially, Rick, do they put Aaron Nola on the roster if he's not going to start a game, if necessary? Do they go with the extra bullpen arm or extra bench bat? And then if that's the case, that means they're not going to use him. I mean, when we get to the NLCS, he will be used. But I'm really curious how they'll go if it gets to a game 4. That surprise ending with Saul getting gunned down by the rifle cook was. Thanks for ruining it. I appreciate it. Mike was the best character. Mike, I love Mike. Love it. Got one episode left in it. Okay. Mike was the best character. Yeah. You know what I didn't realize till last night? I was looking at. I thought the actress that played Kim Wexler. I thought I recognized her from something else. I didn't. But I was going through all the cast, and I had no clue that the actor that played Mike was the dude, the henchman from Beverly Hills Cop 1. Had no clue that that's who he was. No clue till I saw that last night when I was on online. Nobody want Ben Simmons. I don't know what more weak, his mental or his back. The dude is. I always said, Philly MM. I've been saying it for a long, long time, that Ben Simmons would never sign another contract after his max contract with the Sixers. And it looks like that's the case, at least right now it is. The dude just doesn't want to play basketball. Never did, never will. He's just what he is. Mike was a righteous dude, he was. Ben Simmons not even good for like 4 points. So I mean, you don't have to score to be good. You could do other things. He just does nothing. We've got 20 votes on the poll question, but only 8 likes on the video. Guys, hit that share, subscribe button, but of course, like as well. Please, hitting those buttons go a long way to building the algorithm of this show. If we lose game 1, there are going to be lots of ass cheek squeezing. Phillies have never won a series where they lost game 1. I am not fact-checking Nooms. I am going to trust Nooms on this stat here. This is a huge stat right here. You got Christopher Sanchez, a guy that's going to finish in the top 3 of Cy Young voting, going up against Shohei Ohtani, who's probably going to beat Kyle Schwarber for the MVP award. It's a hell of a matchup. And the Phillies obviously got to win this game. The whole entire series changes or is dictated by who wins game 1. And here's a stat right here. 76ers is going to surprise a lot of people this season. They only missed the playoffs last year. The previous 5 were 50-win teams. Well, Joe Embiid played a lot more games. You've got to have confidence that Joe Embiid will play. And I don't know. 72 to 75% of teams that win game 1 go on to win the series. There's Adam doing the stat. Winning game 1, massive. Yeah, dude, he killed Mikey. He did kill Mikey in that. Like, I had no clue that was Mike from Better Call Saul. Mike from Better Call Saul killed Mikey in Beverly Hills Cop. Crazy. It was the final episode that made it feel, well, I will be watching it tomorrow or tonight. The smartest guy on those shows until he wasn't, till he got tricked by one Mr. Walter White. Phillies World Series. Oh, it starts by winning Saturday night, Rick. You lose Saturday night, that becomes a problem. Okay? I've run across movies with young Mike. Just starting to learn about it. Yeah. Probably correct, unless you go back super long time, like 80 years ago, when the Phillies win first game. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to trust the stat finding here. May the algorithm be with you as well. Absolutely. It's the shock of not knowing. Look, we'll finish it up. Well, I'll give my official thoughts on Better Call Saul tomorrow morning after I finish the season finale or series finale tonight for sure. 100%. Phillies going to steamroll. 11-4. Yeah, I guess that's steamroll. That would be 1 loss this series. Yeah, we'll see. I truly believe, Rick, that the Phillies can win this series. But I also really believe even more the winner of this series will definitely be in the World Series and most likely win the World Series. Can you at least agree to me that, like, down the middle comment, the winner of this Phillies-Dodgers series, you think it's the Phillies, I think it's the Phillies, wins the World Series. The 2 best teams in baseball are playing against each other in the NLDS. 76ers have the same odds to do anything as the Philadelphia Flyleaf. Pretty much none. Yeah, exactly. Walter White was the protagonist plot armor. He was something, Walter White. Favorite Mike scene, I got more than $50, asshole. Black Robber is very well done. I don't know what that is. 76ers win the Eastern Conference. You are smoking the good stuff. You gotta stop with the wake and bake, man. I need you not wake and bake in one morning just to see what real Rick is like when he's not. Because the Sixers ain't winning no Eastern Conference. I can at least give you some credence to your Phillies predictions that you've been making. But saying the Sixers are going to win the Eastern Conference, man, that's just a hope and a prayer. That is just a hope and a prayer. Anyway, what did I miss here on this next comment here? I knew what you meant, okay? Just giving you a hard time. People like to give me a hard time, MM, when I misspeak. So when you guys mistype, I'm going to give you a hard time. Never watched Tulsa King. Anyway, back to the Phillies. Back to the Phillies and back to the Eagles here. I do want to also bring into the conversation, along with the Phillies today, the fact that Nakobe Dean's practice window was activated, and they're leaving an open roster spot right now. They only have 52 men on the roster right now because they're hoping that Nakobe Dean can be cleared to play this week. And we could discuss at length what his role will be on the field. But I don't think enough people understand how big getting Nakobe Dean back is in a leadership role. I fully expect that if Nakobe Dean had not gotten hurt, he'd be one of the guys wearing a captaincy on his jersey this year. Nakobe Dean was the leader of that defense last year. He was a vital part of that defense last year in the leadership department. Hell, I think he had more tackles than Zack Baun at the point of him getting injured. And then on the field, you could find ways to play all three, Campbell, Baun, and Dean. I mean, there's people saying we need to trade Nakobe Dean immediately for a cornerback and edge. If you did trade him, I would say edge or tight end. It's another topic. But you can't have too many great linebackers. Do we really want to go back to the Nicholas Morrows of the world? No. Having a plethora there is a good thing. People get hurt. The New York Judge might even have better odds to beat the Cowboys than the Sixers. How often on this show have my predictions been wrong? I don't think you've really predicted. The Phillies haven't won the World Series yet. Okay? The Sixers haven't won the Eastern Conference. They're the two most recent predictions. So, just saying. The Jets probably have a way better chance to win against the Cowboys than the Sixers. Positive on the Phillies. I get it. Positive on the Eagles, 100%. Sixers win the conference. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't get that one. I feel like there's a really good show streaming. We should share it amongst the core. What? There is something to the Joel Embiid seized you article. He may really have come back from the injury too early, and he was never trusted the organization since Hinkie left. There's a lot to the Joel Embiid stuff. The ESPN 30 for 30 or the Netflix documentary on the process 10 years from now is going to be one of the most waited upon things for me. I can't wait, okay? So today you have 4 one and done games. No, we don't, because the Dodgers already won their series. They should get rid of him, and we're not going to re-sign him. Who? I don't need your approval of affirmation to keep my opinions. I rarely have any respect for anything you... Rick, you are a harsh, uncaring man. Garrett Crochet to the Phillies, I got that receipt. Yeah, I mean, I actually was just looking at his numbers. Him and Nick Pivetta, two guys associated either in rumors or on the Phillies in the past few years, both had hell of seasons this year. I predicted the Eagles all that season, and so did I. So you weren't the only one predicting the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Phil has the most homers on Phillies. I don't have any home runs. I could never hit a baseball. Anyway, back to Nakobe Dean. I don't think people understand the importance of a person like Nakobe Dean on the defense and how he actually will make the defense better. You guys either behave with each other. Rick doesn't like negative opinions on sports teams. Well, I don't like you guys battle in the chat, so if we're going to battle in the chat, we're not going to put those things, and I'm just going to ramble on. Who has the most homers on the Phillies? Kyle Schwarber. He was second in baseball in home runs this year. All right? I'm a little distracted by Rick's negativity and attacking, and then everybody else bites the bullet and goes back at him. For somebody that wants to be so positive, Rick can be very negative as well. So let's just ignore the negative comments. We're going to do a quick refresh on the side here. Thanks, K1. Let's bring it back to sports conversation here right now. Nakobe doesn't have much of a role that I could see unless he's truly 100%. Well, see, here's the thing, K1. He doesn't have to have a major role on this team. But this Eagles team has one big weakness on defense, and that's the edge rushing, right? They can't get after the quarterback, right? Right? Last week, Zack Baun blitzed the quarterback 5 times, more than pretty much the entire year combined. Never did that last year with the Eagles, okay? Jihaad Campbell, when we drafted him, there was constant talk that Jihaad Campbell could play that Micah Parsons role and bounce all over the defense, right? So if you could get Nakobe Dean to a point where he could play 10 snaps, 12 snaps in a game, and you could roll out all 3 linebackers, then you have the ability to slide Campbell or Baun to the outside, because not only can they get after the quarterback, they can also drop back into coverage, which they do pretty well, right? I want to know who to watch for. I mean, the entire team. Marshawn, the Phillies getting swept. Wow. I guess you voted Dodgers in 3 or 4. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. They're too good to be swept. Do I have some fear? Sure. Do I have some doubt? You know, Marshawn, I've always had the doubt on them. I think they can. I want them to. I'm going to be cheering them on. Hell, I changed my screen to red for them. But to say I don't have a little bit of doubt, I don't know. Not putting that up. They're not going to move him out of the linebacker to edge. Who? Which one? I think there's a chance that you're going to see one of those guys blitzing the quarterback. You can't trade. Oh, you're saying trade for an edge. They may make a trade for an edge. They very well could. They actually probably need to. Okay? But also you kind of get like a trade addition when Nolan Smith comes back. 4 games, 5 games, whatever it is. Just going to page right over all these comments. Phillies on Cancun watch. Well, I don't think so. I think the Phillies believe they can. Oh, absolutely agree, K1. Being game ready in practice window, it is what it is. All right? Absolutely agree. But that's also why they haven't filled that open roster spot yet, because they want to see what he's like. And he did practice limitedly yesterday. So how much he practices today will tell a story. Dodgers in 2. Right. I mean, Marshawn's having a hot hater take, but Marshawn's been hurt, just like a lot of Philadelphia fans, by this Phillies team. I feel bad for the Reds. They celebrate the wild card and didn't have a chance against the Dodgers. I mean, what did the Reds have? An 83-win record? The Reds have no business being in the playoffs, or had no business being in the playoffs. That's the problem with the extra wild card, that you get teams like the Reds that probably don't belong. Adam, backing in at 83 wins. Is an 83-69 team really a team that deserves to be in the playoffs? You've got my approval, okay? I'm sorry, not Cancun watch. Bali. Yeah, they do strike me as Bali people more than anything. Yeah, the Giants do stink at football. Unless the Phillies come out of the NL, I have zero faith in them just from the past history. Well, the only way you can have faith on them is if they do come out of the NL, just so you know. No attack Kane. we disagreed with your opinion. And then you went into attack mode, okay? A lot of the bullpen damage was done against Kopech and Yates. They're off the playoff roster. They got a Versailles once, I think. I used to love waking and baking. Got my tub sack 17th and what? I don't want to know where. I'm not going to watch the Phillies in the playoffs unless they make it to the NL Championship. Well, no offense. That just means you're not a real true fan. You got to support your team till the end. Whether you think they're going to win or not, you got to support them. Maybe they win a fluke game. They're going to do more than win a fluke game, I'm assuming. I watched about 7 seconds of Cubs yesterday. I did not. Quentin Grimes either has a terrible agent or he's about to get paid next summer. But see, the thing is, okay, that with the NBA, well, maybe he will. So what I read, if they trade him, well, he's got a no trade clause, but there's a limit to how much he can get paid next year. But Quentin Grimes ain't going to get a big bank. There was bigger offers on the table that Grimes turned down. So he definitely doesn't have a good agent. His agent is telling him he's worth $20-25 million a year. He's not worth $20-25 million a year. No team was interested in him at any number. Okay? And the Sixers, if another team gave him a big deal, he was a restricted free agent, the Sixers weren't matching it. The league knows what Quentin Grimes is. He's a back-end bench guy on a great team, and he's a role player on an okay team. I don't think I could say that Grimes is a player just because he put up numbers on an atrocious Sixers team. There was somebody that led the team in scoring when they won 10 games. His agent figured Tobias got the max. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why people hype up somebody that can't even hit the starting lineup? What? Who? Only 12 likes. Adam, it's because I blame the chat today. It ain't going to help when there's a lot of bickering and no actual sports conversations going on. There's 21 votes on the poll, but only 12 likes. Not good enough. Back to the Phillies. They're about to get smoked on Saturday. I mean, they got we've already heard the stat from Nooms that the Phillies have never won a series that they didn't win game one in. But also, honestly, I mean, with the other pitchers after Ohtani that the Dodgers could throw out there, the Phillies got to find a way to get to the Dodgers bullpen quickly. They got to get Ohtani out of there in 4 or 5 innings. Okay? One of Grimes' flaws was finishing at the rim, which he really improved on the last few years. I just don't say it. 76ers hate from this show, typically negative. Cool. Cool, man. Cool. Nobody in Philly likes the Blue Jays. Yeah, I never bashed. I just questioned. Chad has fouling me today, 100%. He can play defense. He can create. He can do all this on a bad team, but on a good team, he doesn't see the floor. So, this is the most baseball focused I will ever be. This is uncharted territory. I'm not sure what to do. Sit back and enjoy the wild ride. If you guys like money, bet the LA tonight, free money. LA, the Thursday night football game. Yes, the Rams versus the 49ers tonight. Rams are 6.5-point favorites. It's Thursday night football. The Rams are the home team. It's Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, and somebody else have already been ruled out for the 49ers. It's the Rams are going to demolish the 49ers tonight. I will not even turn the game on. There is no. Brock Purdy was ruled out yesterday. How to hold my arms? I don't know. That's right, James. Everybody needs to hit that like button, subscribe, share, please. Sit back and enjoy the short Phillies run. Exactly. Because it's short according to you, right? Right now on the poll question, let me do a quick reset on it so I can give you accurate numbers. Phillies, Dodgers, how will the series finish? Let's do a quick reset here. Give me a second. 22 votes in. Phillies in 3 or 4 is 41%. Dodgers in 3 or 4 is 23%. Phillies in 5, 27%. 9% Dodgers in 5. So right now we're sitting at 68% of the votes think the Phillies win, and 32 say the Phillies are not winning. Rams probably second best team in the NFC. They own that, and you own them. Well, that tells you something. Rams, the second best team in the NFC. Give me like 30 seconds to evaluate this. Who else would be in that NFC conversation? Maybe the Commanders if they get healthy, if they get Jaden Daniels healthy. Detroit's in that conversation 100%. The Packers, maybe. So I would say it's the Rams, the Lions, and then the Packers and Commanders. I still think the Lions are probably better than the Rams. So it's probably Eagles, Lions, Rams, Packers, Commanders, tied for fourth. We'll see. Dodgers in one. Theo Ratliff at one point used to only do things for bad teams until he didn't. It's fair. It's fair. And then we had to move on from him really quickly and go get Dikembe Mutombo, which actually probably cost us that. Rams take Lions. I don't know about that. Reno Topper going to poo-poo the bed. I mean, that's the track record. That is the track record at this point. What was I even saying? I was talking about the NFC. Now, the Lions are still better than the Rams, in my opinion. The Lions got off to a rough start there in week one, but have been pretty dominant since then. So I'll still go Lions 1, Rams 2, Mad Chatter for sure. Jaden had regressed bad before injury. Maybe he'll tighten up. He also, his team's old and not executing as well. So that's part of it as well. We'll see. I feel like if I pick 6 numbers on a roulette wheel and hope one of them hit, probably still better odds than the Phillies winning the World Series. Well, you do know the odds to the Phillies to win the World Series. They are the favorite team. Well, they're tied with the Dodgers as the favorite team to win at plus 450. So the sports books that want you to lose think that they're the best. Phillies are getting back to the series. I think there's a damn good chance. I think this is the series. If they can beat the Dodgers, they can absolutely beat the Brewers or whoever the Brewers play. 100% they can. There's no doubt in my mind of that. Okay, sorry. My bad. I'm sorry for looking at the analytics. Has good stuff on. Okay. I mean, maybe. I just don't see it. The chat was lively. What happened? I said no fighting amongst yourselves, and then the chat got quiet. It may fizzle fast, but I'm legit curious about Dart. He was as cocky and confident as Jaden last year. Giants got the Saints this week. Jackson Dart might go 2-0 to start his NFL career. The Giants are going to beat the Saints this week. So good old Jackson Dart, okay? He used to do TPL with Sean Bernard. Okay, that's who it is. I thought I knew the name, but I didn't know. Ceasefire. The ceasefire happened, so that's why it's fizzled out. The only way I would put money on the Phillies if they was a minimum of like 12-1. Well, I would put my entire bankroll on Phillies at 12-1. Yeah, Dad put down the hammer. That's right. I don't fight. I respect everyone's opinion. Yeah, except for when you guys fight amongst yourselves. Just so you know. Feel how you want to leave the chat too because I shut down arguing between two people? Cool. When do Tyler Shuck come in? Who knows? Who knows? Is Jackson Dart the top of the hot mom club? What? Has he got hot moms on his roster right now? Dart will be fine. No one's look. I don't think Jackson Dart is going to be this great NFL quarterback. But he beat one of the most overhyped quarterbacks last week, Justin Herbert, and he's got the Saints this week. You fight me. Gotcha. It's not a fight. Dart's mom is like, Dart's mom is interesting. I wouldn't know. Dart's mom's probably like my age, so who knows? Who knows? Jackson Dart's not nothing special though. He's gonna be a mistake. He's just gonna be another Daniel Jones, especially with that team and organization and how bad they are at building their roster. Anybody that on the New York Giants and Jets is cook, especially the Jets. Look, they're bad. New York runs bad organizations, plain and simple. Darling Giants is going to be what every quarterback has been there since Eli. Exactly. They're not going to do anything special. It's not fight if it ain't happening at 3 p.m. Gotcha. Back by the bleachers, right? Hard to win when you have bad ownership. It absolutely is. Now, I will say shout out to the owner of the New York Giants. He did just announce that he's got cancer, and he's going to be, battling that fight. And Fook cancer is always the way I feel, or as Jason Martinez likes to say, puck cancer. So thoughts there with him there on that. Phil, Red Sox, Yankees, or don't care. But as the opponent for the Phillies in the World Series, I mean, I would love to get some revenge on 09 against the Yankees. The Yankees would be the harder team also, though. So, I don't know. Both of them would be great for the sport of baseball. Phillies, Yankees, Phillies, Red Sox would be great for the sport to have two of the top 4 cities playing in the World Series for the championship. How come fights in high school never happened at lunch or first thing in the morning? What are you talking about? All the fights I was in high school, Marshawn, just happened on the spot. Got one walking in between building to building for class. I was going to chemistry class. And I got one in the hallway, like, before lunchtime. So my 2 big fights, and then I did that other one. That wasn't really a fight. I knocked them out on one swing. That was just in the hallway as well. So I was in 3 scrums in high school, and then none of them happened at 3 o'clock. They were all in the heat of the moment. Okay? Just so you know. And just so you know, I learned from the best, Ric Flair. I don't fight clean. I fight dirty. I was 2-1 in high school, just so you know. All right? I was 2-1. So. And the one loss got me more respect than the 2 wins, just so you know. Hey, Eagles, could you please stop playing at 1 so I can maybe watch you? I love 1 o'clock games. Absolutely love 1 o'clock games. All cancer is your cells forgetting how to multiply correctly. It is astounding to me that there isn't a cure. I don't want to get political news, but I strongly believe that there is a cure out there, and they are holding it back. I have always felt that. I always will feel that. My dad died of it, and his actually was blood or bone marrow cancer. His cells did not actually do the right things. There's absolutely a cure out there for it. You can't convince me there is not. And it's just all money from pharmaceuticals and politicians. Guaranteed. That's the bulk of my, I'm going to get like 5 shorts on that now, created today, because of that comment right there. The only fight I got in is with the math club about nonlinear equations. Those mathematicians, man, they probably whooped your ass. They probably used obtuse angles to whoop your ass. Phil, that's crazy. You believe that? I think you're probably right. I firmly believe that 100%. It's science and political mixed together. So I think the politics of it all is what keeps it aside. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, back to the Phillies. Back to the Eagles. Quinny Mitchell got Defensive Player of the Week award for the first time. Love to see him get that respect. All right. Had a great week. It's his first time getting Defensive Player of the Week award. What I noticed yesterday after the announcement of getting the award, Defensive Player of the Week, was that reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain, chirped up about him and talked about how he thinks. Most people will agree that Patrick Surtain is the best cornerback in football. Patrick Surtain has his eye on Q and how quickly Q has become a top 5 cornerback in the NFL. So when top players praise people that are coming for their title, it's something that makes you take even more notice of what's going on. Phil, Eagles are a premier team. Could you maybe play? We got a lot of primetime games coming up. We got Thursday night game. We've got Friday game. We got multiple Monday night football and Sunday night football games. I think we had 7 of our 17 games were primetime and only 1 so far. So there are going to be some primetime games. Is not one thing, depending on where and what type is treatable. I personally think that there's a cure being stunted from, the pharmaceuticals. Absolutely. They did have a malaria vaccine for the longest time, and that was indeed held back for a long time. Every cancer is different. There are cures for some. I don't think there's a cure announced for any. There's just treatments that help. Is Hurt going to Air Jordan leap all the defenders for content? No, but Jalen Carter is content. What? I don't even know what that means. I have no clue what that means. But anyway. Guys, if you haven't yet, like, share, subscribe. We're up to 16 votes or likes, 24 votes on the poll. That means 8 people voted that didn't like the video. No new subscribers today. We hit a little bit of a stall, 9, 10 a day. We only 6 new subscribers yesterday. None new yet today. Where is Jalen Carter? I think it's a very fair question, Marshawn. And I'll answer your question with another question. How hurt is Jalen Carter? Is he hurt? Okay. Jalen Carter missed a lot of training camp because of an injury, right? A shoulder injury. He's been limited in practice almost every single week, including yesterday, because of a shoulder injury. Every single game, at least once or twice, you see Jalen Carter on the field holding his arm or wrist. I thought a wrist problem. Maybe it's because he's taking pressure off of his shoulder. Is Jalen Carter out of shape because of the injury? Is Jalen Carter not performing because of the injury? Or our offense is finally figuring out how to slow Jalen Carter down? It might be a little bit of both, but I definitely think that Jalen Carter is, he's not as hurt as Landon Dickerson, in my opinion, but I think we're getting Jalen Carter at 85%, which isn't good enough. What's up, Bird Gang? How you doing today? Hoping Darth Bader has a good series against LA. We'll need the bottom of the lineup to help out. My question with Darth Bader, Bird Gang, is what do they do with him? Trey Turner is going to be back now, right? He's been activated. He played last night in the scrimmage. He's going to be there. Are you keeping Bader in the leadoff spot? I would. I would absolutely put Darth Bader in the leadoff spot. But they'll probably go back to what got them there, which is Turner 1, Schwarber 2, Harper 3. But I want to see a lineup of Bader 1, Turner 2, Harper 3, Schwarber 4 on Saturday afternoon. That's just what I would do with the lineup. Well, Allen is primetime every week because he is Air Allen. Gotcha. I think the Carter-Sapp Donaldson comparison is delusionally early. He didn't have a sophomore slump, Jalen Carter. He might be having a junior year slump at this point. I can't see your comments, but yeah, I don't know why you guys can't see everybody's comments. Due to look, I don't know. But anyway, Jalen Carter early. The comparison was there. There was reasons to compare it to them. There was. The eye test was there. I think it's hurt. We're making excuses for Landon Dickerson not being 100%. We got to say the same thing for Jalen Carter at this point. Yeah, Josh Allen carries that team. Would you like to know one day if look, the vet turf. It's shocking how many Eagles or Phillies players from that era got sick. John Vukovic, for sure, is another name with Dalton. Maybe it's a chance. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? I don't know. I don't know how you guys work each other in the chat. I don't really pay it. I don't know how you guys do. 400 plus yards passing. Read about it. Yeah, look, Josh Allen's a great quarterback. No one doubts that, man, chatter. Third or fourth best quarterback in football behind Mahomes and Hurts. Because Josh Allen still doesn't do this when it matters most. In the playoffs. When it matters most. Get your team to the Super Bowl. Exactly. I don't either. I don't even think I've ever blocked anybody outside of that. 722. That is what we started the show with subscriber count. Haven't gained any, haven't lost any. It is what it is. But did I say something that wasn't factually accurate, Mad Chatter? What is Josh Allen's record in the Super Bowl? What's Josh Allen's record in AFC Championship games? Just saying. You know I have mad respect for Josh Allen. I always have. Literally, if there's any quarterback that can blame his organization for not putting the proper talent around him, it's Josh Allen. Given snacks instead of meals to play with on offense. But you know what? If he's so great, great quarterbacks can elevate the talent around them. And isn't that what matters most? Turn it on in the playoffs when it matters most? Can you see who all of your subs are? Only if they have public accounts. So I guess there's a way to have your account private. So when I click on the 722, it brings up all the public accounts that I can see. But then there's also people that I can't see. I think they have their accounts turned on private. Hertz can turn it on when needed, and that's all that matters, right? No lies detected. Exactly. Personally, would do Turner 1, Schwarber 2, Bader 3, Harper 4. Break up those lefties and righties. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. JT 5, and that would mean you'd probably go Bohm 6. I guess Bohm would be 6. And then you'd go, I guess, Kepler or Casty 7. And then Marsh 8, Stott 9. I guess you'd go Marsh 7, Casty Kepler 8, Stott 9. I guess that's fine by me. I don't hate this. I just want Bader in the top portion of the lineup and not hitting 7 or 8. How many of your subs claim hard in 15? How many of your subs claim hard in? I don't even know what that means. It sounds like it's a joke, but I don't even get that. Josh Allen's given elite wide receiver and one very good would be scary. Absolutely. Josh Allen with the talent that Josh Allen with Howie Roseman as his GM would have 2 or 3 Super Bowls right now. And this is not to start the argument that Jalen Hurts only wins because of an elite team. We make the excuse constantly that Josh Allen can't win because he doesn't have elite talent. But Jalen Hurts only wins because he has elite talent. There's a middle ground. Every great quarterback has great talent. You put Josh Allen on the Eagles, they have a Super Bowl as well. You give Howie Roseman to Josh Allen, Josh Allen's in the Super Bowl in 2 years. Trey Grimes, McCain, George, and 2 future picks. I want nothing to do with Devin Booker. Devin Booker is not a winner, mister. Great talent, but not a winner. He doesn't have that it factor. Plus, you can't legally trade Grimes. He has a no-trade clause with his little 1-year, $8 million deal. I've seen a few Sixers sites suggest trading for Devin Booker. In my opinion, Devin Booker is not a winner. He's a talent, but he's not a winner. I mod in the chat, and I see every comment from every show. If I want to go back and review, go for it. Cool. If you got no life, surely you guessed DJ? What? I don't know what you're getting at, Nooms. Phil, it's the new advertising that has been going around YouTube and bots. Gotcha. Gotcha. I think Bader bats 6, and that's what I don't want, elephant in the room. I think batting him 6 is too low in the batting order. I think Bader is one of the 4 best hitters on this team right now. Show me the ass team that wins the Super Bowl. Pats were not ass. Pats had a great defense, at least. Can you imagine the mad modder? Yeah, I know, seriously. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying you can if you want it. What? Oh, I know I can. Harrison Bader K's too much to lead off. I think he's done pretty well as a leadoff hitter for the Phillies, for the most part at this point. Okay? And he brings a certain vibe to the table as well, certain energy and leadership quality. I can argue, Nooms, that Harrison Bader is just as important as any of the other free agents to return or bring back next year. Bader needs to be in the first 3 slots, which would mean 1 or 2. Because Bryce Harper plays 3. That's just where he likes to bat. Rob Thompson wouldn't hit him anywhere but 3 long term. Never blocked anyone. I don't block anyone. Just means to joke. I know what just means. I'm just trying to go back and find your last comment on that. Surely you jest. You're talking to Mista. The part was I didn't understand what you're saying, DJ. You're talking about Mista's comment about the trade. I gotcha. Batting him 6 adds depth to the lineup. I guess so. I mean, having Marsh 6 adds depth to your lineup. I mean, I don't know if you know this. Marsh has hit. Marsh is as critical as anybody else to this lineup. Love free NFL streams. Not like 5 above him are undeserving. That's fair, and that's true, elephant in the room. That's absolutely fair. 100% fair. who do I prefer, Booker or George? I'd prefer neither, okay? But I'm not trading first-round draft picks and McCain for Booker. I would love to get off of Paul George off our roster. Didn't want him on our roster to begin with. But I don't think Devin Booker is going to be this player that saves this team. I prefer bowling over both. Isn't Jess spelled with a J? No, yeah, actually, it might be spelled with a J. I don't know. I mean, the last spelling bee I won was in the 3rd grade at Holy Cross, okay? Yeah, I think Marsh is a great 6-hole hitter. You can make an argument that he should hit 5 over JT, honestly. Marsh has had a freaking phenomenal season and won't get the credit he deserves. If you could give out Comeback Player of the Year award to a player for having the worst possible start to a season and then finishing where Brandon Marsh is, he'd be the winner. I mean, the dude was hitting barely 100 in April, gets injured, goes on the injured list, goes to the minors for a week, comes back and has hit 300 plus since his injury. You take out April. Brandon Marsh probably wins the. I know Trey Turner won the batting average. I think since his injury return, Brandon Marsh might be the top batting average in baseball. Yes, it is, but it was a gesturing word play. You're too smart for us people. What's up, Mitchie Poo? Good morning to you. How you doing today? What are we at here? 69 minus 22. That's what? 47 more for you to go for another screenshot. Marsh must be pulled for any type of hard-throwing lefty. No, you don't pull Marsh. Marsh plays every at-bat, every inning of the playoffs, in my opinion. There is not a better option than him. Plain and simple. There's not. Sixers play at 12 today? Do they really? Shit. Who knows? Is this the game out in Abu Dhabi or wherever the hell they are? Is it televised anywhere? Is there going to be a way to watch it? Marsh will definitely get credit from me. Brandon Marsh has had, I've been a Brandon Marsh fan since we traded for him, but I was starting to lose faith in him. Brandon Marsh was a guy I'm like, oh, you got to play him every day so he can figure it out. And then they started, and I'm like, oh, shit, maybe I was wrong on Marsh. Start to lose a little faith. And he proved me wrong, for sure. I would also do 6th Bohm and 7th Marsh. Yeah, I like Bohm lower in the lineup at this point. I still think Bohm has a story to be written here in Philadelphia. It's on NBA TV. Is it really? I think I get NBA TV on my YouTube TV subscription. Maybe. If I do, I'll have it on at the pizza shop today. Come on, you know what he looks like against any good lefty. Do you really want Castellanos out there over Marsh? Because I don't. Wouldn't mind flipping them from time to time. Yeah, I could see that. That's fine. I can get behind that. I acknowledge that. So I looked it up. Jest is actually a word. It means a notable action or me putting up with you all in the chat every day is jest then, basically, with a G. Sixers versus Knicks. I'm going to cry when I see Yabu. I don't really care about Yabu on the Knicks. Yabu, to me, is no different than Grimes. He's okay. He's not as special. We overvalue underdogs, backups, guys that wouldn't see the light of day. I don't get NBA TV money. Isn't it on? I mean, if it's on YouTube TV, I get it because I got YouTube TV. But we'll see. If it's the bottom of the 8th, I'm pulling him for a pinch hitter. Who are you pulling him for? Nick Castellanos? Weston Wilson? I'm not pulling Marsh for anyone on our current roster. Okay? Who is watching Sixers at noon? If it's on NBA TV and I get NBA TV, I will have it on at the pizza shop. What's up, Peanut? Late to the party. You missed fighting amongst the core. You missed me skipping comments because of the fighting. But obviously, lots of Phillies playoff hype, lots of Eagles talk, moving on to the Broncos, talking to Nakobe Dean and his imminent return and how important it is. Got lots going on. It's past the top of the hour. It's 9:05. Guys, if you haven't, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, vote on the poll question. Baun will bat 4. Thompson loves him there. I know, and I don't know why he loves Baun at the 4 hole. And that's why Bader's going to go, because it's going to go Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Baun. I wouldn't do it. It is on YouTube TVs? Okay. So I will have the Sixers game on at the pizza shop today. Anybody want to come out to Fox's Pizza? Buy yourself a slice, spend your money at my pizza shop. I'll put the game on the TV. Yeah, virtual arms were swinging. Phil Illuminati insurrection. Yeah, exactly. I'm pulling Marsh for any offense I need it. Bader, Sosa. I guess if you pinch hit Marsh with Sosa, all right, and Bader's going to start every game, so you're not pinch hitting Marsh for Bader. If Bader doesn't start every game, I'm going to revolt. Just so you know, if you pull Marsh for Sosa, then you've got to rearrange your outfield after that. I have NBA TV, best waste of money I've ever invested in. I would never spend on MLB TV, NBA TV, NFL TV. If it's not included in my package, I'm not buying it. Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Baun, Realmuto, Marsh, Bader, Kepler, Casti, Stott, Sosa. That's probably what it'll be. I don't agree with it because I want Bader higher in the lineup. Can we flip-flop Bader and Realmuto? Elephant in the room. Can we agree to flip-flop those two? And secondly, I am not platooning Stott and Sosa in the playoffs. I could agree to platoon those two guys in the regular season, but in the postseason, Stott's defense can come up big. I think there's a Stott story to be told this postseason. The only platoon in my mind is Kepler Casti in the postseason. And honestly, I can make an argument that you play Kepler every single day too. At this point, can we flip-flop Realmuto and Bader though? That's fine for me. Twitter shows them putting decals on helmets. I always thought they were painted on. Who knew? 100% I'm batting Wilson against the hearth now. I'm not doing that. No way. Package. I mean, you like to talk about packages and then pause to think about said package, Mitchie Poo. That's on you. And the 2D band of the U.S. What? 14 a month NFL Plus is worth it to watch every game replay. Second bank? No, second. And the 2D bank. I think you're still making mistakes. I don't get it. It's not even a conversation. Marshall's hitting 140 against the type of pitcher. So you can break down his stats against lefties that throw X hard versus not as hard. I'm still playing Marsh. What's the over-under on the first Fire Rob Thompson YouTube short? I mean, for me, probably. If they lose this series, you know I'm going to do it. If he is soft tosser lefty, I can keep him in. And how do we break this down? Honestly, it's possible they put Bader at 5. Yeah, to go with your expected lineup, I'd rather flip-flop those guys, personally. I want Bader getting as many at-bats as possible. Literally put the highlights of the games on YouTube within an hour or so. Yeah, exactly. Is it? Sorry. Who knew? I wasn't a history major. I actually wanted to be a history major. Then I realized what that career path would be, so I decided not to be a history major. And here we are, doing what I, being what I am, The amount of times I changed my majors in college, God. Who knew this is where I'd end up? Talking to you guys every single morning on YouTube, owning my own restaurant. I don't even need that anymore. 19 likes on the video, guys. Come on, keep hitting those buttons, guys. Share it out. Anyone else think the Eagles lose this game? Broncos defense going to give the Eagles problems. If they come out stale, we can get behind early. Peanut. So I put on YouTube like a poll question every day, right? Or every week. Who wins and why? And give me a score prediction for bonus points, right? You were the first person. Your vote like 33. You're the first person to vote Broncos could win this game. Bo Nix coming off his best game of the year. They lead the league in sacks, quarterback hits, pressure rate. They got the defensive player of the year on their team. They've got 2 blowout wins at home, 2 close losses on the road to Indy and the Chargers. The Broncos can 100% beat the Eagles. Will they? I don't know. West Coast going East Coast for 1 o'clock games. Lends the Eagles. I don't see a world where this is an easy game. our offensive line is going to struggle against their defensive front. Zack Allen, their best defensive tackle. It's something. If only Phil's teachers could see him now, they would laugh in my face. If Phil's are in the World Series and Marsh hits against Aroldis Chapman, I will fund you. Well, okay, done. Lock it up. Lock it up. Honestly, K1, you want a little side story? We'll sidetrack. We'll sidebar for a second. I got asked, I don't know, 5, 7 years ago, my high school Devon Prep was doing a thing, bringing in alumni to talk about careers to their students. And I was brought in as an entrepreneur because, I own my own business. I own my own restaurant. I was brought in as one of the guest speakers in this series. And Father Wiskowitz, he was a religion teacher, a Latin teacher, stuff like that. And his nickname was Father Whiskey. He was running this session this day. And as I'm talking and speaking to these students, he was just sitting there laughing. And I looked over him before the Q&A. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Q&A in a second. But, Father, why are you laughing at me? And he said, and I quote, "I am shocked you could stand up in front of a crowd and talk like you can because you were the shyest kid I've known in the 50 years I'm here." So he did actually laugh at me. All right. He was just shocked at what I became. Broncos can win, especially if we don't get our offense act together for 4 quarters. Yeah. You're not winning this game playing 30 minutes of offense. You're winning this game because you have a complete game. You waste your money on NFL Plus, NBA TV, Amazon TV, and a plethora of other apps. You might as well take the rest of my money before. Yeah, exactly. Look, all the apps you've got to have now, Mister, it's becoming too much. It's becoming too much. You got to hope these sites don't crack down on password sharing because I pay for Netflix and YouTube TV, but I have Amazon Prime and Peacock and HBO Max all on my TV with other people's information because why wouldn't I? I thought you were smart already. What? I am smart. I know things. I'm not dumb like people say. Now you have 15 Father Whiskeys laughing at you now. Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. I entertain you guys somehow. All right? Whether you guys are just all sitting in a room laughing at me or sitting in a room laughing with me, I keep your attention 90 minutes a day, 5 days a week. The more film on the birds accumulating with Juergens and Dickerson hobbled, the harder it's going to. Yeah, look. Would the Eagles be better off sitting him, Landon, and putting Brett Toth out there? I don't know. But at least maybe sacrificing one win to get healthy, maybe it's better. Maybe they're not doing it because you got this game against the Broncos, and you got the Giants on Thursday Night Football, then a mini bye. Maybe they're hoping the mini bye helps get Landon and Juergens back on track. I don't know. Sitting Landon for this game and the Thursday night game, and then the extended break. Maybe that's the way to go. Laughing with, laughing at, depends on the day with the comments. Exactly. Well, there's been 303 comments so far today. And some of them are laughing at, some are laughing with. Today's been a eclectic day in the comment section, we'll just say. Today has definitely been one of those days where I'm not sure how I got this far today. Okay? Thought about cutting it short at like the 30-minute mark because, you know. Anyway. Hold on. What's going on my phone here? Anyway, if you sit Juergens against the Broncos and Giants, would really give them time to heal. Well, I don't know if I'm sitting Juergens as much as I'm sitting Landon. I think we've got the opportunity to fill in for Landon a little easier than we do for Juergens. Who's playing center? Would you rather Toth play left guard or center right now at this point? At this point, the schedule's impact only makes it tougher. I think it makes it easier because we've got some easier games coming up after this week. I mean, that would be kind of funny. It would be kind of funny. Anyway, I'm just perusing through Twitter real quick here. See if anything else is interesting. Nothing really interesting going on Twitter this morning. Landon is the biggest issue. He's a liability and won't get better at this rate. Exactly. So if Landon Dickerson, K1, just doing some math in my head here, how many games we have left before the bye. If Landon doesn't play well this week, I'm actually 100% putting him on IR for 4 weeks because then he can come back after the bye against the Packers, right? This Landon Dickerson is only going to get better if he has a chance to rest and heal. I don't know if this is a healing thing or a strength thing. It looks like the latter. Well, he's not strength enough because he hasn't healed enough. I think both of them are kind of linked together. He was hurt. He had surgery 2 weeks before the season started, couldn't keep his strength up, and hasn't had the ability to build up his strength because he's still healing. I thought he was going to miss the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. You know, most people said 4 to 6 weeks for his surgery. He was back in 2. Tough guy. Sometimes being that tough guy mentality is detrimental to yourself and your team. Half the guys in the O-line room have played center, but you're right, I meant Dickerson. That's true. Dickerson's played center, too. Juergens has played guard. Toth can play center or guard. I think Matt Pryor could play center. I'm not positive on that. Drew Kendall might even be able to play center. I'm not sure. You just got to find a way to get these guys healthy. That's why the Week 5 bye, which I hated last year so much, would have been crucial this year. If we're in bye this week, we can be focused on the Phillies, and we can be getting our guys healthy. And it would give Nakobe Dean 1 more week to get that practice window open. He may have been able to clear protocol since he is just so strong by nature. Yeah, but sometimes teams have to protect the players from themselves. It's something that teams don't do enough. When they say, "Are you good to go?" and they say yes, they just say, "Cool." How many bad games for its open season to turn on Hurts? Negadelphia for old time's sake. There's no such thing, okay, on turn on Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and I actually picked up on something yesterday that I could turn into a negative on Jalen Hurts, but I refuse to do it, okay? Because Jalen Hurts is the man. To be the man, you got to beat the man. No one's going to be better than Jalen Hurts on this team, all right? He can throw for 1,800 yards this year, mister, and I could care less as long as we're playing for a title. We tried Toth at center this summer. It was a disaster. We also tried him at left guard, and it wasn't awful. It really was awful. Yeah, look, at center. Sure, fine. And I think that Landon is more neat for the rest than Cam Juergens. You let Cam Juergens play through it, and that's it. And that's just how you go about it, in my opinion, personally. That's how I would do it. That's what I would do. But, you know, I don't get paid the big bucks to make these kind of decisions. Anyway, what else is on my note sheet here that I haven't cut up yet? Saturday, Union, Supporters Shield. Interesting. We do have a new long snapper on the Eagles. Charlie Hewlett's out for the next 4 weeks with a core injury. Does that affect the Eagles this week as well? New long snapper trying to jump in right away? Could be. 49ers, Rams. Rams are minus 6.5. Rams win this game. No doubt about it, in my opinion, just so you guys know. That's what I got. You got 10 minutes left, guys. Final thoughts, final opinions. You bring it to the table now. We know the Phillies' opponent. We know who the Eagles' opponent is, obviously, as well. And obviously, also, you know, if we've got some time, I will wrap up the A.J. Brown non-story. As I said in the beginning of the show, I think it was great the way A.J. Brown brought the topic up and addressed it and not waiting for it to get any bigger. Him going to the reporters and making a statement about how he knows he was wrong for letting his frustrations boil over. He took so much accountability in his 4.5 minute conversation with the media yesterday. And I love and respect that so much about A.J. Brown. And maybe when A.J. Brown gets frustrated and has these moments, it's actually good for the team because he has the moment, he stirs the pot a little bit, helps get things back on the right track, and then he comes out and says, yeah, look, my bad, I shouldn't have done it. But in the locker room, knows that it's helping fix the team. So I got mad respect for A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is not going anywhere. A.J. Brown wants to be here. And, as he said, low-key, he's frustrated the special teams and defense are carrying this team. I'm disappointed your Pine Barren take didn't blame StreamYard. The streaming app that I use or program I use didn't think my Pine Barrens take was worthy enough, all right, of a short. Sorry. Ridley Scott may have made and broken Joaquin Phoenix. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. To be brutally honest, where are we at with the poll question? 25 votes in. Phillies in 3 or 4, 44%. Dodgers in 3 or 4, 20%. Phillies in 5, 28%. 8% of you said Dodgers in 5. So that'd be 2 of you said Dodgers in 5. 5 of you said Dodgers are winning in 3 or 4. The rest are all on the Phillies train, and rightfully so. But again, winning game 1 on Saturday is the critical thing. Jonathan, what's up? Welcome to the late show. Can't answer the poll, too difficult. Just fingers crossed Phillies win as a fan. Dodgers are a solid team that has the word dynasty attached, potentially. I mean, like I've always said, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. The Dodgers are the man. If the Phillies want to be the man, they got to beat the Dodgers. And if the Phillies can overcome the Dodgers, it's a big if. If they can, they 100% can win the World Series. But they best be ready. We've had their number the last 2 years. The Phillies, the last 2 years, have only lost 3 games to the Dodgers over the last 2 years in the regular season. So, they've got their number. Can they do it in the postseason? Mike Earntrout was the Paulie Walnuts? I don't know about that. One great character, one overrated character. Interesting. Interesting opinion. But one was an overrated character of those 2 names that you said there. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But anyway. What do we got on tap tomorrow? More Phillies, Dodgers predictions. Obviously. Obviously more predictions there. Eagles, Broncos. We'll get the keys to the game out tomorrow. Obviously updates from practice today as well, which is always important to get those updates from practice. Who practices and who doesn't. Dallas Goedert didn't practice again this week. Hopefully that's just maintenance. You know what's telling about this Eagles and Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens and all this stuff is that Jalen Carter, limited participant in practice. Lane Johnson, limited participant in practice. Dallas Goedert did not practice at all. But Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens were 100% participants in practice. So are we making too big of a deal of their injuries? Because it doesn't seem like the Eagles think they're that bad. Kind of feel like there's something weird going on there, right? Maybe we're making a bigger deal than necessary about their injuries. So we'll get into that tomorrow. We'll see what the practice report is today and whether anything changes from yesterday. What? What's the What's about the Someone egged my house last night, and I got him on film. Oh, you got to share that video. 100% got to share that video. Should you retaliate? Oh, so you know who it is. So it wasn't a stranger you caught on film. Does the person have a stucco house? If they do, you absolutely return fire. We want quarterback lower rankings. What? Quarterback power rankings? Why? Like that didn't. It got actually back to normal. Okay, the way I like to see it. Okay, maybe rub some dog shit on the twins. Yeah. Yeah, I need to see the video. If it's someone you know, if they have stucco, I just remember somebody egged our house as a kid. around Halloween. And we had a stucco house growing up in Delaware County. And someone egged it because my brother was an asshole. And I just remember my dad cussing his head off, trying to get egg out of stucco the next day. Definitely a problem. Share the video. Yeah, we need to see that video. My quarterback rankings. Why do we want new quarterback rankings? Why? Like, no. We want to debate sports again. I want to debate and discuss sports. I don't want to debate and discuss drama. It's only one egg. Still. Eggs are expensive. That one egg's worth like $10. Just got the garage door. Still, you know who it is? Was it somebody from was it Mista? You know? Eggs are expensive, man. They've actually come back down in price, just so you know. They've come back down. Marshawn, I can't agree more. And it needs to be painted anyway. Well, okay, gotcha. Marsh Duck, I see your comment over here. It didn't pop up on my screen, and I don't know why. You think Rick didn't leave? He's just busy listening. Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people do. I mean, we did have a lot of comments today. Tomorrow we'll go over the NFL schedule. Not today, but I do have the Rams winning tonight over the 49ers, covering the spread. We've already covered that multiple times. We got some really bad football games in the NFL this week. The Eagles-Broncos game is probably one of the few good games this week on the schedule. There's a lot of bad games this week. What? He's the baseball Terminator from the future. Yeah, I haven't seen them all, but the first two I have. Bad batch of sativa, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, guys, I got to wrap this show up today. Time to get to work. Time to get on with the day. This was a very interesting trending in the AM. I'm curious to see how the YouTube shorts are created from this one. We need to neutralize Otani's processor of the speed. We got to hope that there's some more gambling thing happens, right? Yeah, he's a machine. He is. Maybe we can, steal his phone and accidentally make a bet from his phone or something like that and get him out. It does, and every night it does. And there's 3 more minutes. There's as many minutes as I want. There's no rule, Mad Chatter, that I have to do a show X amount of minutes. I can do a show however long I want. Okay, that's it. I love how AI spells. Yeah, I know. I try to catch it every time, and I miss it sometimes. I'll be back. I'm not a huge Terminator fan, to be honest with you. I think the Terminator movies are overrated. Phil, Stott, Calker, Shot Calker. What? I'm the shot caller. Okay? This is my show. I do what I want. Short Circuit was a great movie, just so you know, in the 80s. Steve Guttenberg at his best was Police Academy 1 and Short Circuit 1, okay? Terminator, now there's a take. I don't know. It's just over, in my opinion. I get its cultural importance. I get what it means to the history of movies, but Terminator is just not my style. It's just not, I don't know. I never get excited when I see it on TV. I never say I've seen 1 and 2. I've seen some of the other spinoffs, but not enough of them. Look, I don't know what it's about it, but it doesn't excite me at all. Oh, the Nobody. Oh, yeah. With Bob. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was great. Heard it was great. Anyway, guys. So read book like Johnny 5. Yeah. Johnny 5 is alive. More input. Okay? It's a great movie. It's a great movie. More input, Phil. More input. I need more input. What was the actress that played the chick in it? She was hot. She was a hot rising actress in the 80s that her career just went downhill so quickly. Somebody from Better Call Saul was in Short Circuit. Chuck McGill's actor was in Short Circuit. I think it was. Solid action flicks, yeah. Number 5 is Alive. I love it. I was such a big I watched Short Circuit so many times as a kid. One of my favorite movies as a kid. All right, guys. Gonna wrap it up here, guys. Everybody have a great Thursday. Be kind. Rewind. We'll talk later. Everybody hit that like, share, subscribe button. Be back tomorrow. Eagles preview. Final preview for the Dodgers Phillies. We'll talk tomorrow, guys. Go Birds. Bubbles up.